how you can enroll clients consistently and efficiently. There's a book that I read years ago that really changed the way that I look at my business and the way that I help other people look at their businesses. And it was called Oversubscribed by Daniel Priestley. This basically opened my eyes to how to get out of the revolving client door trap. Okay, like, okay, you're working with one client and pay is great, you're fine right now, but what happens when that engagement is over? Then you got to go out and you got to find another client, you got to enroll them. It's super stressful to live like that. And I've done it, and I refuse to do that anymore. I have too many other things that I need to worry about rather than where my next client's going to come from. So there's so many ways that you can set this up. In that book, I learned what a campaign-driven enterprise really looks like. And honestly, we set our capacity, which means how many people can you work with at a time, and you set the price point, and then you set your campaigns. So basically the way that the book describes it is that you have however many campaigns, which will be like your open cart times, your enrollment times, and that's the times that you're constantly getting those clients enrolled, and then you shut the doors, and then you serve those clients, and then you open them up again and you open the cart. So this creates some scarcity and some urgency for people, and eventually you'll have lines of people wanting to work with you, especially if you come from integrity and you say this is for 10 or 20 people only, and then you shut the doors at that point, okay? Or you say, I'm doing this offer until Saturday, and then the doors are closed. I see a lot of people do that not with integrity, and then it loses its power. But I do that with integrity. The program that I have starting next week has 20 people, period. So that's the capacity. You can't serve any more than that. So how to keep them enrolling consistently, determine how many you can work with at one time. How many people do you want in your program at once? Then go get them. Okay, like I said, you don't need a fancy website, you don't need a fancy funnel, you don't need to run Facebook ads. You need to make sure that you have, once you have your unique selling proposition, you know who you want to work with, you know what problem you're going to solve, and you know when, or the timeline that you can solve it in. Go find those people. Find 5. And you know how you do that? With relationships, with outreach, with making a list of who you want to work with and who you want to serve. And you ask them to join you. If it's your first time ever, perhaps you discount it just a little bit. If it's your first time ever and you're going to be super duper involved, don't discount it, right? It's you're going to be working with them almost in a one-to-one capacity if this is a brand new program, so you don't have to discount it because it's new. So I have filled my program several times by organic outreach, from reaching out on Messenger to people that I've had conversations with in the past, telling people that I know what it is that I'm doing, and if they have any referrals or people that they think could work with me or benefit from that. I am fortunate enough to have been doing this a while, so yes, I have an email list that I'm able to utilize. I have a Facebook group, but you can do all of this if you're just starting from scratch. I guarantee you that you know 3 to 5 people that would love your help. And I think we get stuck in all of the noise of funnels and websites and ads and social media, pretty Instagram posting, and what am I supposed to do about LinkedIn? Should I be over there? Should I do a webinar? Should I do all these things? No, stop. Let's define your program. Let's lay it out. You don't even have to build the program before you sell it. That's the beauty of it. Get the enrollments, get the validation before you build anything, and then build it together with those 5 people. Does that make sense? I hope it does. How to scale. Once you take that first group through, you're going to be able to really determine what works, what doesn't work. And then you can determine again, you can reevaluate your capacity. And for example, my cart is an ongoing cart and it's open all the time when I have the room, right? I only work with 3 one-on-ones at a time because that's all the capacity that I have. It's all the energy I have because I have other things that I want to work on, and I have my family, and I have fun, and I have other things that I want to do. So Scaling that though is just depending on how often you want to open up that cart, if you want it open all the time, or if you don't. Once you have validated your offer, once you have gotten results for people, then you can start running traffic. You have a budget to run ads, you have social proof, and you have testimonials. And so those all come into play whenever we want to scale up and start enrolling people more often, even at a higher price point if that's what you choose. Once you have started to get results for the people that you work with and you decide maybe you want to charge a little bit more for this and you have the results to prove it and to back up that increase in price, then go for it. Like I said earlier at the beginning of this, there's a difference between charging what you're worth and then charging what's fair. And yeah, I have charged thousands of dollars for one-on-one consultations for just a couple of hours of my time. And when I really sat down and did my vision exercise for myself and set my own goals, I was reminded why I want to be doing this stuff in the first place. And it's to help as many people as possible. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning of this. Not everyone has the $15,000 or $25,000 to invest to work with me at that capacity. So I wanted to create something where I can work with people that are starting out, right? Or that maybe aren't quite at that high level yet. It doesn't mean that what you're gonna get with me is any less. You're just not gonna get me one-on-one all the time. So it just depends on what works for you. I've worked with people that build programs that are less than $300 a month, and I work with people that have built programs that are over $60,000. So it just really depends on what you're doing, what aligns with your values, your goals, the results that you can deliver, and yeah, and you can go from there. So I hope that is also helpful for you. I want to answer any questions that you have, and I can talk more about how to really get these clients enrolled in just 2 weeks or less, even if you don't have a program yet. I want to reiterate, you do not need to build out the program before you start selling it, okay? You need the structure of the program. You need to know the problem you're solving. Let's write this out, okay? You wanna know who is it for, which we talked about the high ticket formula. It's exactly this. Who is it for? What problem are you solving? You don't have to really describe the problem that you're solving, but I want you to know what that is so you can then determine the result that the person is going to get at the end of your program, okay? What is the result or the promise, we'll call it? Like Ross said, he gets 100 reservations for restaurants in 45 days or less. What's their problem? Well, their seats are empty. They need more people, right? So how is he going to solve that? He doesn't go into the how, okay? He doesn't go into, well, we're going to create this funnel, and we're going to create this campaign, and we're going to add these widgets to it, and I'm going to do some ads, and I'm going to do all that. No, you're going to lose people whenever you start going into your zone of technobabble, right? We don't want to tell them all the details. We just want to tell them, oh, you're having problems getting butts in seats? That's restaurant lingo, right? You're having problems getting butts in seats? Well, guess what? I have your solution. I'm going to get you 100 reservations in 45 days or less. You don't have to go into the details, okay? So what is the promise of your program? So far, if you know these 3 things, okay, you're ahead of the game. Can you see it? And remember, I said I'll take pictures of my little notes here and send them to you if you want them. So who is it for? What's your avatar? What problem are you solving? What's wrong with them? Like if you're in the weight loss niche, like, oh, well, their problem is they are overweight, right? Or their problem is they want to drop body fat. They want to increase their muscle mass, like whatever. Like what problem are you solving? You need to know that. And then what's the promise at the end of your program, right? My promise is that you will have an online program that is ready to sell in 90 days or less, okay? Really, it doesn't take that long. The 90 days, we do all kinds of other things in there, but really you could have this up and running in 2 weeks if you wanted to. All right, so once you have that, then we decide what is the structure of the program, okay? Notice that I haven't said anything about logos or colors or fonts or branding. No, this is all the meat of the program. This is what you are doing. The logo and all that is the fun, sexy stuff, and I love all of it. It doesn't make you money, okay? And so the main thing is here, we want to build out a program that's going to be able to be sold quickly, get you 5 clients in 2 weeks or less, okay? And we're not going to do that by wasting our time on Fiverr finding a logo that we like, okay? So we want to know who's it for, what problem are you solving, what is the promise of your program, and then I want to know your program details in the outline. This is like, how long is it going to be? How many modules are you going to have? I like to have a program that has a course component to it as well as a call component to it, like coaching, okay? If that's for you, that's great. If it's not for you, that's great too. This is just a formula that I have seen work over and over and over again, and it's what I love to help people build. It doesn't mean that we can't build it another way, but this is something that does work really, really well. People want to be held accountable and have that safety net from the expert. And I bought a website, a URL called informationhoarders.com. No joke, because people buy stuff, information, and they just hoard it. Like, how many things have you bought? You've never gone through it. I'm guilty of it. I have things I've never even logged into. It doesn't do any good. I need somebody to hold my hand a little bit and to hold me accountable and to say, oh, you haven't logged into that in a while. What's going on? Right? So people want that. So whenever we outline the program, whenever we create the timeline and the deliverables, okay, that's where you can determine how much involvement you're going to have with the people in your program. So I want to know the timeline and the deliverables. This means worksheets, templates, calls, whatever it is, okay? But remember, you don't have to create all of these things before you sell it. You can create as you go. The only thing is you just got to stay ahead of the curve by about a week, okay? You just got to stay in front of them. And it's just magical how you can be paid to create your program, okay? Your timeline and your deliverables. Remember, we're outlining this. We're not filming curriculum. We're not creating PDFs. You're just outlining it. So now you can take this to your ideal client and say, look, I have a 90-day program, or I have a 6-week program that's going to help you do blank in this amount of time without whatever. Does that sound like something you could use right now? And hopefully you've done your homework on the person and you already know their answer should be yes with the thing that you're approaching them with. Then you enroll them, okay? So the main thing is here, you do not have to build this out before you sell it. Sell first, then build. I don't know if you've ever been told that before, but you don't have to create everything up front before you before you sell your program. You need to have your formula figured out. You need to have your USP figured out. You need to have a way to take money. But other than that, you could build the entire course in a Facebook group. Just like we're doing live here, you record these and those go into your membership area that you create later, or they go into units inside a Facebook group. There's so many ways to do this. And I love helping people create this for themselves. The process of creation is super exciting for me. And it probably is for you too, if you're any type of entrepreneur. And because we all love to create, right? And so if I can help you get these systems lined out so you can stay in that creative space, then everything else seems so much easier. What happens whenever entrepreneurs like ourselves get into the tech space and the system space, it gets to be a little bit overwhelming, and it can be very frustrating, and it can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. So that's why I love to help people walk through these processes. I love to answer questions. I love to give direction, and I love to help people stay on track, because that's what I needed whenever I was starting out. There was so much going on. I was so, had no idea what I was doing. And it was just really helpful. Luckily, back whenever I started doing this, I got to be helped by the best, which is Russell Brunson. But now I've been able to take that experience and knowledge and be able to pass that on, and it is powerful. So I want you to implement some of these things that I've talked about today. I guarantee you, if you just take a couple of these things, whether it's updating your social media profile, whether it's really coming up with an online program that you'd like to offer. Most people that I talk to don't have one. And I'd love to be able to help you create that for yourself. It's something that can live on and on and on, and get so many people into your door so you can help them from your zone of genius. And I love something that I identified. It sounds kind of silly when I wrote it down. I was on a podcast interview and I said, I love helping people that want to help people. I know it sounds so silly, but it's true. If you have a heart for others, if you have a heart to serve people, and you need a way to do that that works with your vision and your goals for yourself, let me help you. It's not as complicated as you might think. And yes, it's not, what does it say? What do they say? It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay. And there's no shame in asking for help or not knowing all of the answers yourself. So yeah, I want to help you enroll clients into your online program. My brother is a big reason that I help people do this. He has needed to, or wanted to create, needed is a strong word. He's wanted to create his own program for a really long time, and he just gets busy doing other things. He works a job, and not for himself, and he also has a son that's in high school, and it just falls off to the wayside. But now he is involved in my program, and he is so much closer to doing his own thing and having that ultimate freedom, time and money freedom that he wants. And my sister is the same way, and I wrote an email about her not long ago. She's a cake baker, right? That is the ultimate one-to-one. Whenever you can only make one wedding cake a weekend, or well, not, she can do more than one a weekend, but you know what I mean? Like you only can do so much on your own. And she needs leverage. She's gonna wear herself out if she doesn't figure out a way to scale or add on to her business. And going through my program, my process has really helped her figure out what direction she wants to move in. When I talk about my own process, that's something that I help you do too whenever you're determining your program details and your outline, is we come up with your own signature process. So my signature process is called CTA. We go through clarity, where you get super clear on your goals, who you want to work with, what problem you're solving, your program, all of that. That's all in my clarity portion of my process. Then we go to tactics. Okay, how are we going to sell this thing, right? And then how are we going to set up the delivery? Those are all tactics, right? And then action is just what it is. It is putting everything into play and optimizing it as we go. So that's my signature process, CTA, clarity, tactics, action. And I love to help people go through that. And I love the fact that it's 3 steps. 3 is my number. If you are a numerology or otherwise person, then you will know like the importance of that. I love the number 3. So it's CTA, it's 3 steps. It's something that everyone can understand. It's not overwhelming. It's simplified down to 3 things. Like if I tell you you have to do 25 things, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to get 25 things done. But if I talk to you about 3 and we break it down into 30-day increments, it's so much more manageable. So I will help you determine your signature process too. And it also makes it easy to explain to people like, okay, how are we going to do this? Well, you're going to go through my process and here's what it is. Okay. So, yeah, I could keep talking and talking and talking, but I'm going to slow it down here, and I'm going to go over here to the questions and answer anything that you've got. So bring it on. I see Lisa has asked, how much does a funnel system cost? It depends. If you have somebody build it for you, especially if you have somebody like me, trusted certified partner expert, been doing this a long time with my network of other experts that help out through the process, my services start at $15,000, and it's worth it. It gets it all done. It's beautiful. It works perfectly, and it allows you to focus on your zone of genius. I also have elements in my group program that allows you to learn how to do it yourself with templates, with trainings, with group calls, with Q&A. So you don't have to, that's why I have that, right? I told you I have the higher end thing for people that have that type of budget. And then I have a lower end offer for people who aren't quite there yet. But it doesn't mean that they don't deserve that type of help, and they don't, that they don't need that kind of system. So I've just delivered it in a different kind of way. Okay, Robin. Oh, she redid her USP. I help menopausal women reduce anxiety without medication, I bet, without medication in 30 days or less. That's pretty great. If you only want to work with women of menopausal age that are anxious. So you have to think about that. Like, that's a really narrow group of people. If that is one of the common issues with menopausal women is anxiety, then go for it. Okay, any other questions here? Oh yeah, we do have some. Brenda, I haven't seen you in so long. Her USP is she helps women silence the voice of the inner critic so they can finally get out of their own way and take consistent, inspired action on the goal they've been putting off. If I feel I'm doing what you warned against earlier in promising clarity, I do mindset and spirituality training that leads to clarity. Women describe themselves as being stuck and unclear. So you help women get unstuck. A woman that I worked with, she's become a very dear friend of mine. Her whole program is called she goes from stuck to strategic. She helps musicians go from stuck to strategic in promoting their music. So if you can take something and be tangible with what it is that you're doing, that makes more sense. I was answering some questions online today. One of the things that you can do to position yourself as an expert, I was in a Facebook group and somebody asked a question and I answered it. He was also trying to sell clarity, right? People don't want to pay for clarity. They want something measurable, something tangible that they feel like they're actually going to be getting something in return for their investment. Clarity is definitely a product of what we do. Probably any program that you have, there is some component of clarity in it, right? My whole thing, the whole 30 days first is clarity, but I don't sell the clarity. You're going to have a complete roadmap on what to do with your business at the end of it, okay? So I'm selling the roadmap. I'm selling the marketing playbook. I'm selling the course creation, right? We're creating the course. That's the tangible thing. You have to have the clarity to get to that point, but I'm not going to tell you that. It's too daunting and it's too vague. So that's why I like to have a little more of a tangible type promise, okay? The clarity piece is just part of it. Hey, Bob, you are very welcome. Oh, 1 a.m. Wow, thank you for being here, 1 a.m. If you have questions tomorrow, whatever, just message me and I'll be happy to answer them for you. I hope you guys found this helpful. I have so many resources here for you. I work with people in all different ways. Whenever I go from working with someone one-on-one for $5,000 a month, and now I'm going to be working with a group of people for $500 a month, it was a bit of a shift for me in my mindset to really figure out how I was going to make this work. But it really does fulfill my purpose here. I want to help as many people as possible so they can fulfill their purpose here too. So I'd love for you to join me in that program. You get group calls, you get my 12 weeks to launch course program, online program, which basically helps the first parts of it go through all of this right here. It's like so good. So good. It's one of the 12 weeks to launch course on its own is a $5,000 program. And I am offering it at this really, really reduced rate. I help people go through it often right now at a higher price point, but I'm opening it up starting next week. We're going to go through it together, and we're going to build out your program, and we're going to get you some cash in the bank, and we're going to get you helping as many people as possible in your own online program. To join me, you can just go to amandadake.com/elite. And that has really the bullet points of everything that we're going to be doing together, and allows you to sign up. You can pay in full. It's $14.91 paid in full, or $4.97 a month. I am not charging extra for the payments. It is the same either way. I know that sometimes people charge more if you want to make payments, but for this program, I am keeping it all transparent and open. I want to help 20 people in that program, and I want you to be one of them if you're ready to create the ultimate leverage in your business and help as many people as possible. What better time and what better way to spend that time by building something that really solidifies your legacy here and helps you fulfill your purpose on the planet through an online program. I know it might sound cheesy, but it's totally true. The more people that you can help through an online program, the more your purpose is fulfilled here. That's why I see it. So the website, Ross, amandadake.com/elite, that allows people to sign up. And I want all of you guys to take part of this. I see all these people popping in now that were finished up. I wonder if their times were confused. So like I said, if you guys have questions, let me know. Happy to help. If there's anything else I can do for you, I'm here for you. So thank you guys for being here. If you want my notes, my fancy whiteboard notes here on my paper, I'm going to reiterate this one. It's my favorite one. Sell first, then build. Message me and I'll take some pictures of these and send them over to you. But that's what I got for you. So you guys have a great evening or morning, depending where you're at, and stay safe. And I will see you next week. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't done that already. And if you'd like to check out more of our videos, go ahead and just tap the screen right here.